Good evening. My name is Devonta, and I'm going to be giving you the webinar today on traumas and healing from past traumas. So, the first thing I'm going to do is just want to check to see where everybody's from. Oh, you are muted now. I'm muted. They can't hear me.
No, they hear you because
Oh, okay.
it's connection to this.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. See, I don't want to create any traumas for me, so I have to make sure. Now, before, where are you from? Where are you listening from? So drop that in the comments if you're running across the video, if you're hearing the video, drop it in the comments. Let me know where you're from. My name is Devonta. I've been working with people for most of my life, helping them get over past traumas and also healing from different things and also handling problems that allow for them to not have trauma that would be occurring. So that's something a bit about me. And just want to let you know, you see this word on my chest, Dianetics. So basically Dianetics, so you understand what it is that you're seeing. Dianetics is a science of mind, which comes from two words, dia and nos. Dia meaning thought or spirit, and nos meaning through. So it's what the spirit is doing through the body. Okay? So that's what Dianetics stands for, what the mind and or spirit is doing by way of the body. Okay? And the data that I'm going to be giving you today is from the book itself, because it's a book and it's about the mind. And if you're ever hearing anything and you're like, wow, like I really want to get a look at this book, you can look at the comments below. There's going to be a link there for you, and you can look at that book. But now we're going to get into the webinar. All right? So, turn your phones on silent. Knock them off vibrate. Don't want any distractions. Put the kids to bed. No distractions for tonight. Just you and me. Give me an hour, and we're going to have a great time. Okay? Now, what is trauma? Nowadays, you hear that word get thrown around a lot. Trauma, trauma, trauma. But what is actual trauma? Well, trauma, definition of it. I'm going to read this definition from it. Trauma is the enduring emotional. So one, emotional. Psychological. Psychological and even physical response to a distressing event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, leading to lasting negative effects on well-being. Okay? So, trauma is the enduring emotional, psychological, and even physical response to a distressing event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, leading to lasting negative effects on well-being. So what would that look like, right? Something that overwhelms the individual, emotional, psychological, or physical. What are some things that could emotionally, psychologically, or physically overwhelm you? Have you ever gotten in a fight before? Boom. Trauma. That's physical. So a fight. Death. Bad breakup. All of these things are traumas. Now, one thing that could also be a trauma that most people don't think of as trauma, operations. We're going to get into why this would be a trauma. But if you look at the definition of trauma, it's the enduring emotional, psychological, and even physical response to a distressing event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, leading to lasting negative effects on well-being. So, if an individual is having an operation, it's overwhelming them physically. Physically, your body does not like whatever's happening. So much to the point that doctors have realized that we have to put a person to sleep in order to do this procedure because it's so physically overwhelming to the individual that they can't operate this way with the person being fully conscious. Okay? Now, what are some things that you want to gain from this webinar? The joy of life passing you by, all right? Your past still haunting you? Got it. Do you need help dealing with the loss? You need help dealing with the loss or trauma. You need help dealing with these things. Good. So now we're going to get into how we can actually unpack this. So let's have a look at this. We have emotional, psychological, physical, right? Two guys. Get into a fight. One guy lands up in the hospital. The other guy just got a black eye. So he's messed up, but he's not as messed up as this guy. He's in the hospital. Right? Now, this whole thing is a trauma for this individual. But where does this trauma lie? Where does it belong? Where does it go? What happens to it? Well, we have something called the mind. And the mind has all experiences in life recorded in it. So any experience that you've had is recorded in your mind. Okay? And I'm sure you can think of some things that you have done in your life before. So I want you to do this. I want to give you a moment. Take a moment to think of a moment that was very pleasurable for you. It could be a birthday party. It could be a time you heard some really good music, a time you danced with your family or your friends, you sang a happy song, whatever it may be. You ate some really good food. I want you to think of that moment. Think of that moment. I want you to try to see if you can see what it is that you're eating or doing. See what it is that you're doing. See if you can get some smells there. See if you can get some feelings there, some emotion. And then realize that you're sensing these things again. You get to a point to where you are sensing it again. Okay? Now, while you do that, I'm going to give you some information about the mind. The mind has one purpose. One purpose. Your mind has one purpose, and that purpose is to solve problems relating to your survival. That is the sole purpose of the mind. That is the only thing that the mind is there to do, to solve problems relating to your survival. What is a problem? Anything that would go against what it is that you're trying to do. Okay? You want to wake up and go for a run in the morning? You set your alarm for 7:30. What could be a problem to that? Your alarm doesn't work. You wake up at 8 o'clock. Boom. Now, how does the mind solve this problem? Check to see if the alarm is going to work with the settings that you have. So the next day, I want to wake up 7:30. My alarm didn't work last time. Let's see what happened. You check it. You set the alarm 1 minute for the next minute. It goes off. Okay, great. Exactly how my phone is now. It needs to be that way when I go to sleep. So you make sure that happens. Next day, boom. You wake up 7:30. Everything is great. Okay? Now, this is how we solve problems relating to your survival. So I'm going to erase this really quick. So we know trauma can be emotional, psychological, or physical. Okay? Emotional, psychological, physical. just going to write down here that the purpose of the mind is to solve problems relating to your survival. So what happens when the mind doesn't solve problems relating to survival? Well, thing is, we feel something. And that thing that we feel is called pain. So when you do something that is survival, hi Katerina, how are you? Well, when you do something that experiences you get pleasure from it, something that is survival, you get pleasure, right? So pleasure is what you're striving for because the purpose of the mind is to solve problems for your survival. When you do something that is survival, you get pleasure, okay? So you can think of a moment where you actually did something that was survival for you, where you achieved a goal or you accomplished something. How did you feel after that? Now, during it or preparing for it, it might have been tough. It might have been very gruesome. But guess what? You made it through, and at the end of it, you felt great. You felt really good. That's pleasure, okay? Now, on the opposite hand, you do something that's not survival. What could be some things that are not survival? Well, these two guys are a prime example of that. They got in a fight. Fighting is never survival for anybody. Any situation can get handled with communication. These guys wanted to use their fist, so they got in a fight. He has a black eye now, and he's in the hospital. They both felt what? Pain. Pain is the reward that you get or the penalty that you get for non-survival activity. That is what happens when you do non-survival things. You feel pain. Now, that pain stacks up. That pain is the thing that actually creates trauma. Because trauma is the enduring emotional, psychological, and even physical response to a distressing event that overwhelms the ability of the individual to cope, leading to lasting negative effects on well-being. So, what we have here, we have the mind that has all of the memories here. It's like a little storage bank. Has everything there. Mind has everything there. Hi, Sid. Nice to have you here. The mind has everything there. But the thing is, trauma doesn't go into this part of the mind. Now, I want you to think of a moment where you felt the pain of a loss or a big upset that happened. I want you to think of that. Just think of the pain. Think of the situation that caused you trauma, caused you upset, caused you pain. Something that overwhelmed you. Okay? I want you to think of that. Okay? Now, as you think of this, are you experiencing or do you experience any ill emotions, any feelings that you don't necessarily want to feel right now? Because we're here, you're watching the webinar. So nothing is happening in your environment right now that would cause you to be feeling not happy, right? But if you thinking about this incident that occurred, whenever it occurred, it's not happening now. If you're feeling uncertain or unsure, or you're feeling an emotion that you don't necessarily want to feel, or you feel something creeping up on you, this would be this memory. Slightly going into effect. Whatever it is that you thought of is on the bottom part of the mind. Okay? Now, this bottom part of the mind is the part of the mind that we call the reactive mind. What is the reactive mind? The reactive mind is that part of the mind that operates only and purely on a stimulus response. Now, I'll tell you this, the purpose of the mind is to solve problems relating to survival. That's the purpose of the mind. The reactive mind also has that same purpose. The reactive mind wants to solve problems for you relating to your survival. But instead of the reactive mind using the data that's in the mind that we use every day, that calculates, makes decisions, comes to conclusions, evaluates things, the reactive mind it doesn't have access to this. The reactive mind only stores moments of pain. The reactive mind only stores trauma moments, enduring emotional, psychological, and even physical response to a distressing event that has overwhelmed you. That is what's stored inside of the reactive mind. And the reactive mind uses these incidents in order to get you out of pains that are equal to something that has occurred a long time ago, right? For instance, let's say, oh, hi, Hannah and Eva. Good to see you too. Nice to have you here. But now, we're going to have a look. So, if anybody that's come in, if you have anything that you want to say, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Any moments that pop up for you as we're going through, any trauma that you'd like to address, or anything that you specifically want to hear, let me know. I can hit it, okay? But I need you to be in communication with me, all right? I talk to you, I like to hear you talk back. Now, let's say we have a young boy whose dad is a baseball cap. I'm not an artist, just to let you know. But his dad was always on the booze. But when dad got drunk, he got abusive. And he would yell at the mom, beat the mom, yell at the kids. And if any time, he's the oldest, anytime he stepped out of line, father thought that he was challenging him. He would fight him. They would fight. Physical blows, getting hit. This would just be trauma building up for this young man. So why would I say this? Like, what does this have to do with the future? Well, the fact that this is stored in the reactive mind is a moment of trauma, and the purpose of the mind is to solve problems relating to your survival. Well, when this young man gets older, that trauma doesn't go away. It stays with him. Now, he may be happy, have a nice job, things are going great. But then let's say he finds a lady that he fancies. And she fancies him. They get married. She gets pregnant. They're about to have a baby. They have that baby. Now, when do these things start to kick in from the reactive mind? So this guy's happy, she's pregnant, they're about to have the baby. The baby comes. Baby crying like babies do. Now, babies allow for an individual to have a lack of sleep. You get tired. Wake up in the middle of the night, you got to get the bottle. You got to change the diaper. Wake up in the middle of the night for something. Baby's crying. Why is the baby crying? I don't know. Pick up the baby. Put the baby back to sleep. You're bouncing. You're falling asleep while you're bouncing. Now, at this moment, your awareness is dropping. Okay? Awareness is dropping. And when awareness drops, reactive mind starts to take over. It's like, oh, okay, I got this. I can help. Let me help. Crying baby, scream. I need to be angry because baby's crying. I need to get angry. It's exactly what happened when I was crying, baby. People got angry, they screamed. Okay, great. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to scream. I'm going to get angry. So dad is here. He flips. He gets a bit angry. He gives the baby to mom. So you take the baby. I don't want the baby. You take the baby. So, I'm going to go get a drink. Now, who used to drink in his life? His dad used to drink in his life. So now he starts drinking. Now, he used to always tell himself that he's not going to drink. But it's just something, it's just like he just has to do it. Feels like something that's just there. It's just like, I got to have a drink. I got to have a drink. I just need to calm down because if I drink, I'll be calm. Everything will be fine. Now, he drinks, things aren't fine. He doesn't get calm. Basically, these pictures go into full play. And he starts becoming his dad. He starts to become his dad in actuality. Like he does everything that his dad does. He comes home from work, he goes, sits on the chair, pops a bottle, starts drinking, yells at the wife, "Where's the food? I'm hungry. Somebody get me some food in here. I can't believe I go to work and I come home, there's no food." Now he's creating trauma for the wife and for his kid. So anytime he comes home, if he's not happy, if food's not made, somebody's getting yelled at. Anytime anybody raises their voice around the mom can be grocery shopping. She could be tired after having the baby up all night. She goes to the grocery store while the husband's at work, and she's pushing the stroller down. Baby's in the cart. She's looking for produce. She's tired. And she hears somebody on the phone yelling, screaming. It's a man, and he's angry. She hears this. What happens? It sets one of these moments in motion. And she starts to feel sad. She starts to feel unhappy. Has that ever happened to you before? Have you ever just been, trying to go through life, just trying to handle things, and then for all of a sudden, maybe you come home one night and you just feel sad. You don't necessarily have a reason to feel sad, but you just feel down. You feel really down, and you're just like, goodness, like, what's going on with me? I don't understand what's happening. You're trying to figure out. You just can't put your finger on it. And then eventually you come up with something and say, oh, maybe I need to go to sleep. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. But the thing is, if that was really the case, when you applied it, it would get handled. Boom. If you know the true source of something, applying something to the true source will handle whatever it is that the problem is. But the thing is, the problem is coming from here. She feels sad because what's happening in the reactive mind? Because she has trauma that needs to get dealt with. Now, if anybody else has give me an example. I want you to think of an example that could be a traumatic experience for someone. Let's see if we can get something going in the chat. Give me an example of a traumatic experience that somebody could have. Sal, nice to see you. You got something there? Oh, wait for the chat. Abandonment wound. All right. Nice. Yeah, abandonment wound. So, what would this look like? We have family. For some reason, let's say dad. Dad steps out and he leaves the family. For whatever reason. Maybe he met someone else or just, you know what, I'm tired of the family life. I don't want to do this family thing. I don't want to do this. I don't want to eat the children. I don't want to deal with any of this. Now, what happens? We have something in the reactive bond in the wife, son, and in the daughter. Being born to two people who hate each other, split, we know. It's a baby, long custody battle. Understood. Thank you for sharing that, Ava. So let's see what happens with this. So father leaves, he's out of the picture now. But this does not help the daughter and the son and the wife. They have this trauma here. Because trauma is the enduring emotional, psychological, and even physical response to a distressing event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, leading to lasting negative effects on well-being. What is the lasting negative effect on the well-being of these three people? They have this moment in the reactive mind. Now, if there's ever any situation that connects this individual or that would trigger, now when I say trigger, what do I mean? When I say trigger, I mean any situation that would cause for this moment to have some type of similarity, it could be anything, because the reactive mind doesn't think in differences. It thinks only in similarities. This equals this equals this equals this. So what are some things that Dad did before he left? Dad started talking on the phone a lot more. Dad started coming home a lot later. Dad started to not eat dinner with the family. They would have family dinners every evening. Dad would stop coming to family dinners. All of these things started happening, and the children started feeling it. So this is already starting to stack up for the children. And then he blows. He leaves. I'm out of here. They never hear from him again. And this is, let's say this is a time period where there wasn't a lot of social media happening. You couldn't just look up Dad on Facebook and say, hey, where are you at? It's like, no, you had to write letters. Wait for the postman to deliver the letter. Okay? So they're stuck. We don't know where Dad is. And Dad just left the kids with the mom. So now, they're stuck with this. So a trigger will be anything that would set this into a moment of, oh, this is almost kind of sort of like this other incident. It could be anything. The voice patterns, the voice tones, actions, smells, taste, sounds, whatever. It equals father leaving. Okay? It equals that. Now, what would this look like? Mother meets a new guy. They go on a few dates. She gets a babysitter. The babysitter's looking after the kids. But now it's funny because the mom leaves to go on the date. The babysitter's there. Babysitter's there. But the kids start freaking out when the mom is about to leave. Mom is walking out the door to go on a date. The man's not there. They don't know she's going on a date. They just know the mom is leaving. She didn't say, hey, I'm going to go on a date. I met a nice guy. No, she's like, I don't want to tell them that I met a nice guy until I know that this guy's like a nice guy. So they go on a couple dates, but they just know mom's leaving. Why is mom leaving? That's the first question. Reactive mind. Mom's leaving. Who else left? Dad left. Kids start freaking out. Babysitter doesn't know what to do. She's trying everything in the books, and she's like the best babysitter on the planet. She got referred to this babysitter by all of her friends. She's like, oh my gosh, she's so great with the kids. They love her. They have so much fun and blah, 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 blah. But for this situation, the babysitter is like out of her wits. She has no idea what to do. Why is that? Because the babysitter is not up against the children. She's up against the incident that is being triggered in their reactive mind. That's what she's actually up against. This moment where the father left and said, oh, I'm going to live the good life. No children, my money, everything is mine, mine, mine. No more crying babies, no more daddy, daddy, daddy. I have a kid, by the way, so. And he's 6. But, you know, he's like, no, I don't want that life. I want to be free. I don't want to be tied down. I'm young, I'm strong. I should be anywhere I want to be and not be tied down to anything. But this moment is being triggered for these children. And these children are going crazy because the reactive mind also has the same purpose of the mind that we use on a day-to-day basis, which we would call the analytical mind, because it analyzes, it makes solutions, it comes with conclusions, it looks at data, and it says, okay, this is what things are, these are the differences, and this is how we can make this happen, okay? Now, mother says, I'm coming, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to be gone for 2.5 hours, and then I'll be right back. The kids don't care. You're leaving. That's all that they can see. They can perceive you're leaving. So the fact that you're leaving drives this memory mad. It drives it crazy. Because you leaving does not equal survival. And the purpose of the mind is to solve problems relating to your survival. So if you're leaving and that's not survival, the reactive mind has to make something occur that causes for you to not leave. So if that means that the kids have to go on the floor and bang their heads until they bleed, probably doesn't get that bad. The parents probably go like, oh, okay, if they're going to be like this, I'm not going to leave. She has to call the guy, cancel the date, say, hey, my kids are acting like really bonkers right now. Like, I can't leave them like this. So now, mom can't go on her date. Kids are happy because mom's not leaving. Reactive mind's like, hey, mission accomplished. We just screamed our lungs out and caused a lot of damage to some furniture, maybe broke a vase and maybe, pleaded and screamed and broke some stuff. But, hey, it's a small price to pay to keep mom from going away. Now, this is something that occurs. This happens. Things get triggered, and we start to feel that pain. We start to feel that loss. We start to deal with these things. Now, the question is, how do we actually heal from this? Where does the healing come? Okay, we can see the creation of the trauma. We can see the effects of the trauma. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more things that could be happening. Because girl saw dad as survival. But what did dad leave? Left her. So the girl could potentially start chasing after people who don't want her, which is a very not happy life. Son got left by dad. So in the reactive mind's rationale, in order for the son to not get hurt, guess what he has to do? He has to leave people. So he maybe gets a connection. He starts, hey, this is this and this is this. And then he dips. Boom, he gets out of there. Before things get too good. Reactive mind says, hey, man, this is starting to get really like lovey and starting to feel really nice and safe and comfortable. This is bad. Because what was feeling nice, safe, and comfortable? When your dad was around and then he left. So, hey, man, you should dip out before things get really bad. Before they leave you, you need to leave. These are things that the reactive mind really could be playing, right? Like, it can be playing this for the individual. For all we know, dad left because his reactive mind said that he needed to leave. Hey, man, you need to get out of here. You're getting too comfortable. You can't crack up. You're not good enough to do this. Just get out of here, man. You need to be free. You can't deal with this because maybe dad's dad said that. And he's just, it's contagious. Trauma is contagious. You might not have the same trauma that I have. My son might not have the same trauma that I have because I didn't get very triggered around my kid that much. Like, I have a lot of information, a lot of data about life that allows for me to be the best parent that I can possibly be. If he's throwing a temper tantrum, I talk to him and we can talk it out. I don't have to take my belt off and spank my child. I don't have to slap him across the head. I don't have to smack his hands, which, if that was the only thing that happened to me as a kid, things would be great. But I got a lot worse than that as a kid, you know? But, you know, my parents didn't have the data that I have now, therefore I can do better. Because knowledge is something that allows for an individual to take rank over the reactive mind. When you have data that you can actually use and apply, that's true data and true workable data, and you can apply it, boom, you're one step above the reactive mind. Now, I'll give you some ways that you can relieve triggers, right? Because we get triggered on a daily basis, right? Triggers happen all the time. How are some ways that you can relieve that moment of you being triggered, right? Now, one, change your location. So if you find yourself in an environment and you normally feel really like not good in this environment, shift the location. Go outside, take a walk. Take a walk, look around, look at look at stuff till you feel better. Boom, it's great. Okay, that's one. Two, education. Education gives an individual a sense of accomplishment and it gives them a sense of pride, which boosts them up emotionally. Okay? Education. So, do something. Get a new skill. Develop a new skill. Three, changing the amount of work that you're handling that's physical. Okay? Anything physical. Gardening, painting, cleaning, whatever, lifting weights, going to the gym. Anything that you're doing where you're handling physical universe objects, do that. Why? Because what you're doing is you're directing your attention and you're putting it out. Because what happens when we get triggered? Our attention isn't out when we're triggered. Our attention is like this. Is that true for you? Is that what happens to you when you get triggered? Does your attention go inside and you start looking at moments? Why are they smiling? You start looking at moments that happened in the past and you start thinking about things. You start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not good. Maybe this will always be this way. Maybe my life will never get better. Oh. Has that ever happened to you before? Give me a thumbs up if that's ever happened to you before. Where you start to feel like that. Like maybe things aren't going to actually get better. Got it. Now, that's the third way, right? So, one, change of location. Two, education. Three, allowing for yourself to work with physical universe objects because that directs your attention outward. And it takes it off self out on the others, on the everything around you, okay? So your attention then goes out and you feel happy. I mean, think about anybody that you've seen who does work like that. They work with children. Oh, thank you, Hannah. It's happening now. Oh, wait, what's happening now? The negative part or the good part? If the negative part is happening now, then I hope at the end of this, you feel a bit better. You start to get a bit boosted, okay? Now, if you ever looked at somebody who works with physical universe objects and or people that are in the physical universe, like a gym teacher, he works with all the kids and all the kids are running around. He has to keep his attention on all the kids. He doesn't have time to get introverted into his head and start to go down this spiral of trigger, trigger, trigger. No, he's like, Johnny's climbing this, he's doing that, Bob's over here doing this, Susie, stop eating the ants. You know, he's like very much putting his attention out. He's focused on everything around him. So that's 3. Allowing for yourself. Got it. Got it, Hannah. But that he's allowing for himself to be out. He's not being in. Okay? So that was the 3rd thing. Allowing for yourself to handle things that are in the physical universe. That's going to help you with your triggers, right? Now, the 4th thing is the one thing that actually can't be blocked. Because an individual can have in his reactive mind something that is repressing his feelings to study, repressing his urge to learn something new. He could have something actually repressing that, just pushing down on it so that he actually can't learn something new or take a step into a new venture, meaning he can't change his location. So he's stuck wherever he is because the reactive mind is telling him, no, you can't go anywhere. No, because if you go there, something bad's going to happen. This is going to happen. What's going to happen? What if I'm going to fail? What if I don't do this? What if I do really bad? I should just stay here because here is comfortable. So that's 2 things that's already going out the box. He can't change his location. He can't get an education because the reactive mind is dictating to him, no, if you do this, you're not gonna succeed. This is not survival. This is gonna give you pain. This is gonna lead to more trauma. We don't want more trauma, so you need to stay where you are. Okay? And then the 3rd thing, handling different physical universe objects. Maybe the individual doesn't want to go to the gym. Maybe he doesn't want to go into a garden club. Maybe he doesn't want to be social at all. I just want to stay here. The reactive mind says, no, you know what? When you get around people, they talk negative about you. They make you feel bad. Boom. So that just takes that out of the box. So now, what do we do? Because those 3 things that I just gave you, they don't allow healing to happen from the trauma. What it does, it relieves the symptoms of the trauma getting triggered. So all 3 of these things, although they work and they're very effective, you can put them into action tomorrow, tonight, if you wanted to, after the webinar. You can put any of these 3 things into action tonight, and you'll see that your attention starts to go out. Okay? But at the end of the day, it's not healing the trauma. The trauma is still there. All you're doing is relieving yourself of the pain that you're experiencing in the moment. Okay? And what you're here for, you want to know how can you heal from the trauma. Now, the 4th thing is something called auditing, right? Auditing. And I'm not talking about auditing like I'm looking at your taxes and I want to look at your receipts and I want to go through all of the records of everything that you spent because I'm trying to help you get some money from the government with your taxes. No, that is an audit, but that's not what I'm talking about. So auditing is the process of one individual who is trained in the technology speaking with another individual who wants to get rid of the baggage that they carry on a day-to-day basis. The things that they've been carrying since childhood. They want to get rid of these things. So basically what happens is the individual, as told in the book, it talks about this in the book, tells you exactly how you do this in Dianetics. The individual is sent back mentally. He's sent back to a moment in his life that has pain. So he's sent to a moment of trauma. He's sent to a traumatic moment. And he is going over that moment. And as he goes over that moment, it's like taking an eraser. It's like taking an eraser and is rubbing out that pain. Now, is it comfortable? No. It's not comfortable. You might cry. You might feel angry. You might want to punch your auditor. That's fine. But guess what? His job is to get you through it, right? I have been auditing as an auditor. I've been auditing for more than 6 years. And I'm telling you this, the things that come up for individuals, it's amazing. Sometimes it can be a bit alarming because everybody has different trauma. They go through different things. But the auditor is trained and he's there to help you erase that pain. Now, what happens after the pain is erased? Is the memory gone? Because we just went through this memory, but wow, I feel so much better. What happens to the memory now? Well, the memory never leaves. The memory is always going to be there because there's no way to delete your memories from your mind, okay? You can't do that. It's not possible. But what can happen is the pain content can leave, and it can now be gone into the analytical mind as an experience that has occurred. And that's it. You can transfer it over from the reactive mind to the analytical mind through auditing. And that's the only thing that's actually going to take that pain content and strip it out of the memory, and it throws it away. The memory is now just a memory, and it no longer has a negative effect on you. So, if somebody's about to leave you, you've been in auditing. I've handled the fact that my dad left, and you want to go. Bye-bye. See ya. Because sometimes an individual can see that things are triggering you, so they can use that in a way to play against you. It's like, oh, if I just threaten to leave, she's gonna back off me. Like she's gonna go make me some dinner, or she's gonna do whatever I ask her to do. If I say, hey, if you don't stop being so so constricting to me, I'm gonna leave. Oh no, don't leave. Oh no, it's okay. I'm sorry. Boom. Now he knows what your triggers are, and he's pressing your buttons because he knows that he has the power to do so. Because you can't change it. But now what happens? You go in for an auditing session, and then boom, you contact the thing that actually created that trigger. And then he comes in really late one night, and you're waiting for him. You're like, I'm gonna tell him one about him. He comes in late, a bit drunk. He was out with his friends. He has got some lipstick on his collar, smelling like women's perfume. You don't even wear the type of perfume that he's wearing. It smells really bad and cheap. So he comes in, he's like, oh, what you doing up? Where were you all night? Oh, babe, come on, don't give me the stuff. I just want to go to sleep. I want to take a shower. I want to go to sleep. You got any food? I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. No, I want to know, where have you been? Where have you been? Look, if you start with that, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave, yeah? You want me to do that? You want me to leave? Hey, you can leave out the door you just came through. And now he's like, whoa, he's sobered up. She sobered him up very quickly. Whoa, it's not working anymore. What's up? What happened? No, it's okay. I already packed your bags for you. Here you go. Boom. Out of my life. Now, not only did she drop that moment that caused her trauma, she also dropped the individual who was gaslighting her and creating her loads of heartache and problems in her life. Okay? So, I'm going to open the floor up for questions because we got 10 minutes left, and I want to answer you guys' questions that you have. But this is the way to get rid of the trauma that is inside of the reactive mind, auditing. It's a very simple procedure. And you can learn more about why things are in the reactive mind by reading Dianetics. There's going to be a link that drops inside the comments now where you can actually order the book. And if you order the book tonight, you'll get a procedure guide that shows you exactly the steps that you need in order to take another individual in session. So if you and a friend get together, you have one Dianetics book and one procedure guide, you two can audit each other after reading the book and getting understanding on the data that's in the book so that you know exactly what to do in any situation. Panic attacks, box breathing, force breathing. I've never heard of 478 before. Sal, could you give me a bit more data on that? There are lots of different things that help relieve triggers that an individual can have. But now if you want to get to the source of the trauma, and get rid of the trauma so that you're no longer triggered, read and use Dianetics. That's the way to handle it. If you want to heal from trauma, read Dianetics, use Dianetics. And if you guys want to come see me, I'll introduce you to what Dianetics is like. I'm here in Ireland, in Dublin. I don't know where everybody else is from. Matter of fact, you guys can tell me where you're from. I asked in the beginning of the webinar, and but yeah, tell me where you guys are from, and you can give me a call. I can talk to you on the phone. I can give you one-on-one consultations. It's no problem. But if we're gonna do the auditing, come in, see me, and I can show you what it's like. My number just got dropped into the comment box. So, anybody have any questions? Any questions? Ah, oh yeah, man, I can tell from the name, McDermott. That's a very, very Irish name. But how you enjoy? I hope you're enjoying Switzerland. I hope you're enjoying Switzerland. Nice. So you're living in Germany. Nice. Very good. Netherlands. Nice. Very good. So this book can get shipped to where you are, and you can read this book and you can use this book. You can call me, and if you can't come to Ireland, I can get you in contact with somebody that's close to you where you can get in and you can experience Dianetics for yourself. Okay? Because the thing is, I want you to be helped. Click on the link, check it out, see the book, buy the book, and experience healing. And then we'll also send in that procedure guide with you. If you get it tonight, you get the procedure guide so that you know how to actually use Dianetics. It gives you step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 steps. Now, one more question for you, just for myself, so I know that I did a pretty good job tonight. But I can only rate that based on what you guys experienced and what you learned. Did you learn something tonight that will be beneficial to you in your life? So just drop your answer down in there if you learned something that would be beneficial to your life tonight. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Katarina. My pleasure. Glad that I could be here to deliver the webinar tonight. It's an absolute pleasure. Awesome. Yeah, you can. You can definitely become an auditor. So the way that an individual becomes an auditor is that it would be through training. If you want to be a professional auditor, you do training, you do a course on auditing, and then let's say you come here, you'll be doing practical drills. So basically you'll be supervised at first while auditing other people, various different people, and you'll be applying the technology that you're learning on the course. Because after L. Ron Hubbard wrote the book, he also delivered professional course lectures on auditing, because he didn't stop his research after writing Dianetics. He continued researching because he wanted to know more and more and more about the mind. And he started to deliver his lectures to people, say, all right, this is exactly how you handle this, and it's recorded, and you're going to listen to that. And you're going to put what you learned into practice, and you're going to be supervised doing it. And any corrections that come up, you'll be corrected. And so that you know that you're doing what you need to be doing correctly. So that when you go out and audit people on your own, boom, you can do it. But it first starts if you get in the book. and reading the book. But yes, that's a great question, Sal. My pleasure, Eva. I'm so happy that you guys gained something from this tonight. If there's any more questions, please pop them in or take a moment, take a look at that link, make sure that you got the link that's working, and make sure that that book is there. If anybody needs help with the link, let me know. My number's up there. If you ever want to text or call me, feel free, save the number. The name is Devonta Cobb. I'm available morning, noons, and nights. Shoot me a text, call me up on the phone. We can chat. Not a problem. I'm pretty sure that we can. I need to check to see with the technical terminals to make sure that that is possible. But if that is possible, we can definitely, Sarah, send me a text, shoot me a text, or we have your email. Do we have our email? Shoot me a WhatsApp, and then I can send you over that recording. All right. Will do, Sarah. Thank you. Will do. So before you guys leave, I actually I'm gonna leave you with this. And this is an article from the book Dianetics. Yeah, of course, Eva. We can definitely get that for you. No problem. I'm gonna read an article from you from the book Dianetics. It's on love. Okay? There's 3 types of love that an individual can experience in life. And one of them is dastardly it's dangerous. Never, all right, yeah. We can get that for you. Of course. It has been discovered that there are 3 kinds of love between man and woman. The first is covered under the law of affinity, which is the affection that you have for another individual, and is the affection with which mankind holds mankind. The second is sexual selection, and is a true magnetism between partners. So we probably experienced that before. You see an individual, wow, they're gorgeous, boom, it's connection. I want to be with them, happy, right? The third is compulsive love, dictated by nothing more reasonable than aberration. Aberration just being diverging from rational thought. So whatever the irrationality could be why an individual falls in love with another individual on compulsion, that would be the aberration. Perhaps in the hero and heroine legends, there have been cases of the second kind, and surely, as one looks about him in the society, he can discover numbers of happy partnerships based on a natural and strongly affectionate admiration. The third kind we find in plenty. Tabloid literature is devoted to it and its travails. It crams the courts with urgent pleas for divorce, with criminal acts and civil suits. It sends children weeping into the corner away from quarrels. and it launches from its broken homes, broken young women and men. Dianetics classifies this third kind of love as reactive love. Reactive mind partnership. Here is a meeting of minds, but their minds are on the lowest computational level possessed by man, driven together by compulsion. Men and women mate, who will find in that mating nothing but sorrow and the reduction of their hopes. That's from Dianetics. If you want to hear more, get the book. And that's all for tonight. I look forward to hearing from you soon. See you next time.